Hello and a very warm welcome to everybody for our workshop on transforming resumes for MBA admission. I'm Namita Garg, founder of MBAdecoder.com, and I'm joined here today by Niranjan, our senior consultant, who's an LBS alum and an authority on resume building. Hi Niranjan, and welcome to our show.
Hi everyone. Thanks for joining in today on Sunday afternoon in India, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you based on wherever you are on this planet. So in this workshop, right, we are going to take three actual examples. The three of the candidates have kindly agreed to share their resume here, and we shall build cases on their resume. We'll walk through some of those bullet points and transform them to highlight their critical strengths and achievements. And through that, all of you will learn quite a good number of things, how you can apply those principles in your own resumes and change them to impress the AdCom in your MBA applications. First of all, just give one in the chat if you're hearing me loud and clear, or is there any disturbance or anything? All sound good, Namita?
Yeah, we can hear you well, Niranjan.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, so before we switch to actual resumes, I just want to quickly give you overview of the guidelines that we should be following in resume editing. So first is about formatting, right? Make it nicely visible, which means that keep at least a couple of centimeters margin on all sides. Don't try to overstep those margins. Don't go from one edge of the paper to another edge. And then you have to fit entire resume inside one page. So where you can manage is only the content that you write, because the other things you must keep, like the font should be nicely 10 point, preferably Calibri or Arial family rather than Times. Reason being, these Calibri or Arial, they are much easier to read compared to Times. Times structure is different because of thick and thin. So make it easy for your readers to read, and then with nice margins, you keep the content in check, the amount of content. The structure is always in reverse chronological order, starting with your work experience, followed by education. These are the sections that you will have in your resume, followed by leadership experience. Now that is optional in the sense some schools specifically ask for that section in their the resume that you submit to those schools. Otherwise, you need to have an additional information section where if you don't have a separate leadership, then you highlight that leadership experience outside of your work in any NGOs or any community activities that you may have been engaged in, or anything related to your travels, your interests, all sort of hobbies, all that stuff. Now, in your bullets, right? Less is more. So cut the clutter, keep your bullets limited to 2 lines, use very limited number of words. The AdCom does not need to know everything about you and every tiny activity you did in any story. So just give the most important things about that story, about that achievement. You must specify quantified impact. So if you increase revenue by how much percent, give comparables wherever you can. So if you improve revenue by X% and the benchmark was less than that, you must highlight so your achievements shine much higher. Use such words, action words, and that highlight your skills and leadership, your negotiation skills as applicable, or how you influence others. And you must follow ASPA model. Now, what that ASPA model is just going to quickly tell you in a few seconds. So you must have come across this PAR model, problem, action, result. That's how you structure your bullet. Now, ASPA is not different from that. It's just that you structure those bullets is little different. So instead of starting with, typically what you hear is did something, so designed something and delivered something for XYZ client by doing this, analyzing so much data. resulting in some X% cost saving or resulting in some revenue upside. So just flip that order. Instead of starting with all your actions, you start with results. So achieved so much revenue upside or achieved so much cost saving, achieve something magnificent that is quantified by solving some problem, by maybe streamlining some operations or delivering so many projects or whatever it is through these actions. So maybe by establishing new partnerships or negotiating different contracts, or so these are the actions. So now instead of giving you any examples here, we'll quickly switch to the actual resumes that we have for this workshop. So we have 3 hosts, and we'll start with we're starting with Sheetal. What's the order we have? Sheetal.
Sheetal, yeah. So
Sheetal, fine. So Sheetal, I'm opening your resume, and could you unmute yourself? Can you allow her to unmute herself,
yes,
Namita?
ask to mute. And Sheetal, also feel free to turn your video on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope you can hear me fine now.
Yeah.
So just hold on. I'm opening your resume.
And do you want to turn your video on as well?
Yes, though I need permission.
Okay.
Oh, video.
Yeah.
Oh, is that so? Okay.
I'm just trying to figure that out. So let's get started and hopefully I can turn it on.
Now you all see Sheetal's resume here. I'm not seeing Sheetal's video yet.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the permission, or I can see your screen though.
Yeah, let's just get started and I'll try to figure out how to give you the viewing permission.
Okay. Okay.
Or if somebody on the chat can help me with that, it will be great.
All right. So, Sheetal, as I said, your education. First of all, the formatting bit I just mentioned, keeping not using end to end, but giving sufficient margins on all sides. So I'm not highlighting here one more time, but because I just discussed that, I'll just make a note here. I'll add a comment. 1 second.
You want to insert a new comment? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
People try now.
Yeah, just a second.
all right. Now, and then the second part is education follows your work experience. So all right. Now, what you have here is in your professional experience, you're working in a tech company, and I'm not going to name that, but it's one of the leading tech company, as you said. Now, could you, so you mentioned that your job involves both. One is that product development, educational product development, and also you are responsible for revenue generation through basically you make some sales pitches or you aid business development by giving demos, and through that you are responsible. You have some revenue targets as well. Is that right?
So I've been training the sales team to achieve whatever you just mentioned. Yeah.
Fine. Now, so we are not going through your entire resume because we have limited time. So what I'm going to limit right now is we'll look into your edtech company experience. After that, we'll touch upon a few pieces in your education, and this education bit will move from here to somewhere here. Okay, and now it has slipped to second page. That's okay, because once you edit further, you bring it back to single page. So it's a long process, but right now we'll focus on some of the bullets here.
So just for
Okay.
our listeners, the format that you follow is first have your professional experience and then have your education and then the additional information section, which will have everything that you have done since the time of college, all your extracurricular activities and any interests or community initiatives.
Now, here your first bullet is research and created English curriculum for grades pre-K8, K8, impacting 8,000 schools in India and Middle East. Now, what from this, by reading this, yes, it looks great that you have done something that benefits 8,000 schools. But it is not clear what exactly was your work, how what you research, and so what was that curriculum was about, or what problem you're really solving. But first thing is when you said impacting, what impact that really is. So you developed new curriculum that was easy to understand, easy to. What was
Yes.
the X factor about your curriculum that you developed?
So rightly pointed out, we can call it learner-centric.
Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another bullet here. Wait a minute, sorry. I thought I started tracking changes. Yeah, so you can see all the markups here. Fine. So if you say impacting 8,000 schools, so what was the impact? What do you say mean when you say impacted?
So I can tell you the USPs of the curriculum, one of which is learner-centric, child-friendly, innovative,
Okay.
along those lines.
Okay. So so the way I will write here is deliver is something like, say, not you said educational content to 8,000 schools plus schools, benefiting whatever number of children. So if you have any ballpark number in your mind, otherwise you just put it. I'm just putting a filler here. So many children by by designing. Wait a minute. I'm just making it even better. Aided. Okay. Learning outcome for from so many schools, right? By delivering easy to what would be one word that one or two words that would be perfect for qualifying your education content that you deliver? Simplified learning, or what is it that you would call it? Was it customized? Was it more adaptive? Sheetal? Has Sheetal dropped out?
Yeah, I think she has. Okay, she's still there.
Sorry,
is she back?
I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, so by delivering, you give an adjective here, adaptive or any similar adjective.
Right.
Learning modules by designing and delivering. And if you have any learning modules, and here, when I say aided improved learning, you would want to further quantify that improved. So many children improve their scores in, or you have any other metrics for learning outcome. So I'm just saying aided. So many children improves scores. Score or learning outcome.
Yeah.
By designing and delivering adaptive learning models. And then here you mentioned so many schools from where schools in India and Middle East.
Yeah. Could you also mention why have we mentioned the designing and delivering, like especially in
No,
the
no. Yeah.
So Niranjan,
This.
one
Okay.
second. Maybe what you could do so that everybody understands is
Hmm.
compare what what Sheetal had written and how you have used the ASPA approach to make this change. I think that will
Okay.
answer Sheetal's question as well.
Right. So basically, you're highlighting your achievement first before anything else. Now, the other next bullet is, and this is not necessarily final version. We need to revisit it. I'm just giving a structure here. Right. Now, the next bullet is conducted sales training. So your grand achievement here is you generated revenue worth 75,000. Right.
Yeah.
So now you start with that. So
So that needs to come up front then.
that's exactly. So generated revenue, generated whatever $75,000 within maybe n months from launching the product. So there you need a filler. So launching the product is launching some, you may name the model. So launching some product, you mention the product name here.
Right.
Within so many months. So now that gets further quantified. What $70,000 revenue. If you have, or you may alternately say you exceeded your target by X%, exceeding annual or quarterly or half yearly target by X% by conducting conducting, what is that?
Sales training.
Yeah. Or you, so by leading it, by leading sales team, by leading whatever 100+ sales team to. But now when you say there are 100-odd sales people and 75,000 revenue, then per salesperson the revenue looks pretty small. So maybe you may just stop that. I understand this is more like a startup business, so or just growing. So and again, your billing is in Indian rupees. Now convert that to dollars. It makes a lot of difference. But so you may just want to hide this.
Right.
You may say by leading sales, or if your core job is not sales, then you may say by collaborating with sales, leading sales team, or by with sales. Mm, mm, in collaboration with sales, sorry, that would be the more grammatically more correct. Collaboration with sales. In collaboration with, then by conducting whatever sales
Sales
events.
training. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you train the sales teams. Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. My bad. So by okay, then there's no problem. No. By training 100+ sales team to make impactful pitches and demos. Again, these will further polish up, but right now what now we got is this one within months. So first few words themselves, they captivate the reader.
Right.
Okay. Then now here also
Also, I
these
think it's important to keep it very tight in terms of how many words you're using. Don't go more than 2 lines.
yeah
So that
exactly.
the AdCom is able to immediately see what biggest benefit you brought
Mm.
to a particular situation. And we see a lot of resumes where one pointer goes on to 3 or 4 lines. But
See,
the AdCom will have to figure out what is the main point out there. Whereas if you follow this approach, then your main point is there right up front.
so if it was just impactful pitches and demos, they don't necessarily translate into sales. So maybe you also train them in negotiating deals, closing deals. So you may add those words, right? Impactful pitches and negotiating contracts. I just get here. How did I get a text box here?
And so when we mention launching the product, would I rather write the name of the product as it is, or a generic description of the product?
If it's too and if the name of the product doesn't tell much about the product, then you write something more descriptive with adjectives or something.
Sure.
What is happening here? And I seem to have added, and I can't exit this. Any word expert here? And I never experienced this.
What has happened?
Okay, there seems to be some text box, and I need to get out of that, and I can so that I can start writing something here, but I'm not able to do that. So I don't know how that even
Niranjan, maybe
started.
just save and restart and open the file again.
Okay, fine, yeah.
Any questions so far? You guys can start typing them into the chat box.
So I have a question. Suppose I have 3 bullet points for a particular work experience at a particular company. What comes at the first bullet and second, third?
Yes, so I'll answer that. So within a section, you don't necessarily have to write everything in chronological order.
Right.
You write what is most important. So basically, which is the most important achievement? That will be first. Okay. Now, can you see my screen again? Your resume sheet?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, right. So now, if your intention is apply for maybe in your goals, if you're writing something related to say product management, then anything where you contributed to product development, product management, or creating, launching new products, those bullets need to be on the higher side come, and anything that would be related to some internal improvements, that would go lower, even though something related to that effect you may have done more recently. You still you know what is chronologically sequence most recent out of what you have done in recent time. Your reader doesn't.
Right.
So highlight what is most important in context to your goals.
And
Okay.
and there is revenue involved.
Correct. So, so revenue and all that depends upon okay. So first thing maybe related to sales. You did something related to sales, and then you did something related to product launch. Now, if you're saying that you launched a new product,
Yeah.
and within 6 months you added maybe say so many accounts, business accounts, let's say. And then your other job was just managing few accounts, existing accounts, and you added so much revenue. Now, even if that dollar value is higher in that account management or in the sales side, but here in your goals essay, if you're saying that you're a product manager, you want to launch product, then you should start with launching that product and how much revenue you generated.
Okay.
So you launch a product, you let that product launch from concept to rollout, and added so many accounts within maybe 1 year to generate so much revenue. So that would be the first bullet. The second bullet may show higher revenue. That's okay. Because in that case, you may be selling some existing products which are higher ticket.
Right.
So
right.
don't be kind of determined by or don't be taken away by sheer the dollar number, because here you are highlighting what skills you have demonstrated.
Yeah.
Because you are going to selling yourself for product management, so launching a product is more important, right? Taking it from concept to rollout, managing the releases, that is more important.
Yeah.
Than sales pitches. Okay.
True.
Now, here you're starting with all the support words. See, the ideated, developed, executed, these are not achievements. These are something, your actions you executed to achieve something.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you start with the outcome first, which is what is the outcome? You isolate the outcome. So so you train the trainer. So you train 15 teachers who eventually train 20,000 teachers. Okay.
No. I trained.
Sorry.
I trained 20.
Oh, I'm sorry. You executed such trainings to train 20,000 teachers. And these are online kind of webinars or that kind of training courses or
Both in
workshops that you
person
conducted?
and online and in person, both.
Fine. So, so you may say train 20,000 teachers, resulting in 93% teachers reporting 20% improvement. Okay. Now that is good impact. I'm just wondering how you will make it compact, because if you just change the format to make it to say Calibri, you're taking even more space. So you have to manage the space as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, so you would say train 20,000 plus teachers who reported 20% improve, of which 93 with okay, train 20,000 plus teachers to achieve 20% improvement from more than 93% of the trainees from their classroom coaching. So this is going to be a little tricky bullet, tricky in the sense a little challenging to fit and bring out the impact. Okay. And yes, through multiple webinars or multiple training sessions. Achieve, to help them achieve, to achieve 20 improvement in their training outcomes.
Yeah.
If this was for K-12 or whatever
Yeah. Kate.
outcome in
Yeah.
their K-12 teaching teaching K-12 class, yeah, K-12 teaching. What is this? Classroom management skills and 25% improvement in training outcome and to help them achieve and 25% improved student engagement. Yeah, in there. So now if these become too much, because you have to highlight this part also, what you did, right?
Yeah.
By oh, by the way, if I remember correct, your objective is product management, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now wait. So in that case, this bullet becomes your more because you ideated, developed, and executed, right? So this you launch these training programs as product.
Right.
So now so you could say launch concept to or led concept to launch of this training modules to educate 20,000 plus teachers who to achieve so much improvement in their learning outcomes or in their teaching outcomes, right? So this bullet will look somewhat like this. So you understand this how iterative this process is. It's not something that you get it right first time.
Yeah.
Right, and we spend several hours with our clients, multiple rounds of iterations to rework on every bullet. So you would say here, launch new training modules for teachers. So you don't have to mention how many webinars or whatever you conducted. Training modules for teachers to
20,000 teachers.
help 20 training modules to help. Okay, for teachers you that help 10,000 teachers achieve over 25% improve student engagement. In their training in their K-12 classrooms or 20,000 K-12 teachers in their classroom, something like that. Improve student engagement in their classroom training. That's better one. Now here you're first upfront you're telling that you're and now you move this bullet to the top, because if you're selling yourself as product manager, first thing you're talking about launching a new product. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
So Niranjan, one question, would using 20K be better than saying 20,000 because it saves space?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe you could make that change.
Okay. Okay. So now this is not necessarily the final version, but if you just what I will do is I'll just bring all this to the top and so this clutter will go to the bottom, so which would be eliminated. So now you can focus on these 3 bullets, and for 1 year, you have good number of achievements to talk about. Next iterations, you can further go and improve them. Okay. So I'm now switching to your so the core idea before we move to this next section, which is your education, the core idea is you bring that impact forward and then support that by telling what you did. Except here, because you are talking about launching a new product and you're a product manager or aspirant product manager post MBA. So you at least once you have to mention this. But otherwise, in the next bullet onwards, you're talking about what is the quantified impact, followed by what problem did you solve. So now you may put some comparable learning outcome compared to, you may say compared to somewhere else by designing and delivering new learning models. So this is the area that we need to revisit. What would be the action things? What was exactly by designing and delivering? So was it based on some computer-aided technologies or some artificial intelligence that you may have built in, or any of that stuff that you have used? So these would be the supporting words, supporting verbs and description that would come here. As long as you put everything inside 2 pages, 2 lines for your bullet. Okay?
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
No, all good so far.
Okay. Now, here this internship, I usually suggest that you add internships as a part of your main work experience itself. You don't have to specify that because first of all, it takes unnecessary space, and if you, whether you were paid or not, it was like a job. Even if you were an intern, it was like a job. You may have worked on that project for 3 months, 1 year, whatever it is. It is still a part of your main this thing. So I'm not going through these bullets right now because I have to take care of your education and whatever you may have done during those years. So what 17 to 20 you work there. So first bullet is about your academic achievements, graduated with majors. If you have exciting GPA to talk about, you mention here. You may say, or you graduated in among top X%, the top 5%, top 10%.
That's the thing. So my university never actually ranked our scores, the CGPA, so which is why I was not able to put it there.
But you would know from your class, right? Or if you have the GPA, you would know the GPA, and based on that, you may have some assumptions. As far don't make too extraordinary assumptions, but whatever is known in public domain, or it's assumed to be true in public domain, within reasons you can write it. So at least in your college or in so if the university gives you percentage, you may mention percentage. If they give you some GPA kind of scores, you put it there.
Sure.
And then if you ever achieved any Dean's List kind of a thing, then you may also mention Dean's List, or it depends on the school that you graduate from. Okay.
Niranjan, I have a few questions here. So sometimes applicants put a lot of publications or projects that they did. What is your recommendation? Should they be putting
so you
those
put
or not?
one bullet for all, so collectively summarize. So you don't give the details of the paper, because the title of the paper may expand over 3 lines.
Yeah.
So publish maybe 3 papers or 2 papers, or publish a paper in IEEE or major journal, or whatever you grand journal, or presented something in a conference. So you may highlight that. We just limit that to 1 bullet.
Right.
Yeah.
So your 1 bullet is related to your academic achievements. Here I'll just add a comment.
So there are a lot of applicants put many project work that they had done during undergrad, but you don't really need to put those unless it was something exceptional and it ties with your career goals or something. You can just leave it.
Similarly, with the non-published papers, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Anything which
you
is
don't have.
published in a known journal is going to look more impactful.
So all these measures, you may put only the relevant measures, if at all. All right, because you're working in education studies and languages or literature or something. So don't give too many details. Now, what you have is just fine. So with 3 majors and a minor, and that is okay, as long as you fit inside one line. So then another bullet would be related to one bullet on publications. And then
at all.
third bullet would be related to your um, any other extracurricular that you did. So you're president of XYZ club or entrepreneurship cell or whatever it is. Now, in your case, if you were leading some literature club or any public education related club, so or you led something in under National Social Services. So any of those initiatives you would put here, what you did during your college days.
And not in the extracurricular section, which is at the bottom.
So that would be your continuing commitment towards those extracurricular activities.
Beyond
So it shows your well-roundedness. So along with your academic excellence while you were in college, you also did so much outside of academics. You
Yeah,
were not
so
a
in the
bookworm.
additional information section, put things that you've done beyond college, and whatever you did at college, put it in the education section. And again, the focus has to be on leadership and achievement for those bullet points. So instead of telling that you were part of a committee, tell how you worked upon, how you achieved an outcome by being part of that committee.
Yeah. So, for example, while in college, if you led any conference or any students' festival or any student-run grant initiative, you could put it there. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this volunteering section, it could go in all additional information. So instead of volunteering, you may just make one single section for volunteering, and there you would mention. I'll put it there. And just don't make any sections like this. You may just mention single bullet saying that maybe you could say here NGO Eklavya, or if it's an initiative name. So here you can describe what is Eklavya? Is an NGO, or I'm just assuming it's an NGO?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, NGO Eklavya, or you may say later this thing. So facilitated IELTS training for cohorts of 40 mentees. So you would say just mentored so many children, mentored so many whatever applicants. Children or professionals. This IELTS is not for children, actually. They are for young professionals, right?
Yes.
Or students, just put it students. Mentored to train for helping them achieve so much, helping achieve so much score upside. So that score upside would be of which you may say of which so many graduated with so much high scores. Yeah. So exam of which helping. Sorry. 17 to win scholarship or so of this shortlisted, did any of them win scholarship? Then you can mention them here.
Yeah.
So shortlisting is not helpful enough. You may say a few of them winning Chevening and other scholarships or something like that. So you're not making any factual errors, but they would have won some or other scholarship. So whatever you trained them, outside of Chevening scholarship also they would have got some other scholarships, right? So you may mention something like that, helping them pursue further education abroad by scoring high and winning scholarships.
Right.
Helping, I would say, you put the appropriate number here.
Yeah.
I would never advise anyone to give any fake information. So anything that is factual, that could be verified. If the school wants to, you make sure you're not lying anywhere. Yeah, win a scholarship to pursue higher education. Okay, in top in British and whatever in higher education abroad. That's fine. So this would be just one of the and here you mentioned mentored NN student through Ekalavya Foundation. Mentored student. Right. So and then this is another one, right? Led 70 volunteers to 8,000 plus workers get employed under Manrega. Manrega is a government scheme.
Yeah.
So we all know what it is, Manrega, but the schools may not know. So you need to specify that. So all this part will disappear, by the way. All this will go. And this also will disappear. And what will remain is only the bullets. Okay. So here you would want to highlight this from June 20 to June 21. This is the period of lockdown which you have mentioned up here. So here you in the bullet itself you would say led 70,000 volunteers upfront you may say this Jhar Connect, that's a NGO or that's an initiative, government-led initiative. What is it?
No, NGO.
Okay. That just happened. Just hold on. This is what is switching. We need to speed up because at this rate, other candidates won't see much of a chance. But you see.
So maybe Niranjan, this is the last bullet you could do, and then
Yeah.
if Arushi wants, she can read
Yeah.
back. Sorry, if Sheetal wants. there's a message
Yeah.
from Arushi which is waiting to be
Correct.
read.
Yeah, right. So here you say led volunteers to get employment during COVID. Mm, so after okay, following mass something like after COVID lockdown. So add these words somewhere at the right place. 8,000 plus workers get under Social Security Scheme Manrega by okay. So you're bringing the impact upfront, that is fine. And the rest of the things are fine. Yeah, initiated yoga series, that's okay. Now, whenever it comes down to fitting everything inside one page, then you would cut down some of the bullets here. So you don't want too many bullets for any of your jobs. So for example, here you have maybe 7, 8 bullets. So bring it down to maybe 4. Keep only the most important ones, not necessarily the everything that you have there. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is not end of it. There is a whole lot to work, and it takes several hours. We don't have that many in this webinar, so we really appreciate you being here, and we'll move to the next candidate. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Thanks for sharing this.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
I have a question from Arushi Niranjan for you.
Yeah.
She's asking, how would you recommend mentioning achievements during work experience period? I think we were mentioning achievements right now, Arushi. I didn't get your
Say
question.
that again. Say that again.
How would you recommend mentioning achievements during work experience period?
During work experience. So this is what we are discussing right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so Arushi, maybe you'll get more clarity when we take up the next example.
Yeah.
And if you still have questions, feel free to reach out to me separately. And her second question is, would you recommend highlighting by making bold or in italics anything in bullets to highlight impact or a particular skill maybe?
Not necessarily, because that often it works as a distraction, and you end up highlighting something that is irrelevant. So you, as a natural tendency, your eye catches certain words, but then those are picked up out of context. Usually, business schools are also discourage putting anything of this kind of highlighting in their resume books. So most of the places you just have to fill up those bullets in text format. So there you don't have much of an opportunity. So I suggest try not to do that, because that becomes unnecessary clutter. Instead, start with this format, bring that quantified achievement side, the result side up front, and support that by telling what actions you took.